It's nice here. Richmond's beautiful. And so we're on Facebook Live. And we're live with you.
On Facebook.
Oh, you on Facebook too?
I'm on Facebook.
Oh, we live.
We live. We are. Okay, let's do this. We're doing this.
In a world where quality business information is needed, we bring you On the Mic with Mike, the leading social enterprise business show in RVA. Join Mike King, the partnership guru, as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day. That's what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King here. This is part of the Mike King Biz Media Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, International Business Growth Radio, Saturdays 10 a.m. Eastern, as well as CW Richmond TV. What we do is we showcase and highlight business and people doing business in a different way. Alrighty, so you can follow me on all social platforms, On the Mic, Mike RVA, as well as Mike King Biz. Alrighty, so we got a giant in the tech world in the building with us. Alrighty, Laticia, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, so it is a business show, so tell folks who you are and what you do.
Hey everybody, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you again, Mike, for having me. My name is Laticia Carrow. I am a 2023 IBM champion, and I specialize in mainframe computers. Ooh.
Yes. I wasn't even going to go there.
Yes.
Alrighty, so explain to us who are out there what exactly that is. So I know you from your podcast is the Tish Talks. Tish Talks Tech.
Tish Talks Tech. So Tish Talks Tech is my way of giving back to the mainframe community, my way of giving back to tech, the tech space, period. So what happens is this. We have a day and age right now, a day and age right now where people are outside getting paid, making transactions, sitting up, having whole jobs, okay, from wherever you are in the world, and have no idea that they are using technology. I know that sounds fundamentally remedial, but it's the truth. We are on right now, we're utilizing Facebook, we are utilizing the internet, we have our phones, hey Facebook family, and we are just doing like this entire entire ecosystem. We're utilizing it. And if you don't understand that, you're either not paying attention or you're asleep.
A lot of times people are asleep at the wheel. We are, because we don't really think about, like you said, what it takes to get from where we are to beaming this signal around the world.
That's it.
That no matter, the world is not a very big place when we start connecting the dots, especially from an IT side.
That's it. And so what I do with Tish Talks Tech, it's so cool. I get to speak to technology heroes every Sunday at 12 o'clock on my YouTube channel. So like last Sunday, I got to speak to Carl Eric Stenfers. Carl Eric wrote or co-authored most of the IBM Red books that we have in circulation today. And he's been on the platform since like 1965. So if you're out here and you don't understand what a mainframe is, I'm just gonna be like real basic. So
please, yes, be very basic for me.
Do you know what a bank is?
Yes.
Do you have an ATM card?
Yes.
Do you swipe it?
Yes.
There you go. That's a mainframe transaction. Do you have a bank account where you actually balance a checkbook? That would be something that you would interact with on a mainframe. That's a transaction. That's transactional data. Anytime that you log into Facebook, anytime that you decide that you are going to turn on a radio, or that you are going to pump your gas, anything that has to deal with being alive and well and kicking. Anytime that you go to your doctor's office and you have to have your charts up, right? That's a part of a database. That database is more than likely connected to a larger database that is running on a mainframe. It's connected somewhere. So yeah, so technology, it's not all inclusive, and yet it's not something that we have to say, well, you can't learn it. There's plenty of job opportunity. There's a lot of ways to actually learn. The space is very big. We were talking before about having visual horizons. It's not.
I was getting ready to go there with you.
Yeah,
because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know, and then all of a sudden there's an opportunity there. And I had said that somebody told me that technology was a lot of times lowered barriers, and that's when you dropped that on me. So what exactly is it again?
So we have this in my space. We have this thing where sometimes people have these barriers. You look at these barriers and you say, I would never be able to do that. When I used to do hair, I was a hairdresser. I loved hair. I loved it. And I said, ooh, when the salon closed down that I worked at, I was thinking, there's no way. Maybe I'll go and try to save somebody's life. Maybe I'll, do nursing or something like that. That was more my speed. I was thinking. And then I said, well, but I do like tech. I like computers. I like chat rooms and things like that. And those are fun. I like video games. But I wasn't thinking, maybe I could actually help somebody. And that was my number one thing for me, was to be able to help other people. And with what I do right now, I am able to help other people. So when you go through and you start looking at, excuse me.
There you go. You can get your water there. We're
Thank
good.
you.
So on the mic, Tish Talks Tech here with us. She is here dropping nuggets of knowledge on us. What I try and do is figure out, your thing.
Yeah.
So hair was your thing.
Hair was my thing.
And then something.
And then the salon closed down. I retrained. But my number one thing was, how can I still help folks? When you decide that you're going to learn technology, first, there's beauty in the basics. Let me be very, very clear. You have to learn basic things like, how do you turn on a computer? What's the OSI model? How do computers work? That's the very first thing. Learn that. Don't just go and be like, oh, I'm going to, just jump headstrong straight into cybersecurity. You can do that. That's great, but it's going to come along. First, find out, how does the computer work? Does it have to be plugged in?
I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there. I was that person.
Is the computer on?
Yes. Yes, and yes, I've been asked that question.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many times a person will say, no,
it's not.
It's not plugged in.
Is it plugged in? So learn that piece first, and it will liberate you. Trust me. And then after you get that part, it's only going to take you a few weeks. Believe me. Once you learn that, then there's other things that you can learn, because you're going to start going down a rabbit hole. And then what I did is I started learning more and more and more about technology. So I started this contest called Master the Mainframe, which is now called Z Explorer. It's sponsored by IBM. Literally saved my life, because I started in on it. The first time I tried it, didn't work well. Second time I tried it, it was okay, because I kind of felt a little more confident, right? Third time, whoa, I did really, really well. Got all of the badges, learned a whole bunch, even got into this internship type of deal, landed myself a job, a job.
Out of something that you had no idea before.
No idea. So back to, breaking down barriers and seeing the horizon. So instead of trying to crawl over the mountain, just go ahead and look at it and then look over it. Break down the barrier. In the STEM field, there's a lot of things that you can do. You don't have to be the #1 coder. Sometimes you just have to know what the code is supposed to look like. That in and of itself is a whole job. If you can read a dump, you could literally liberate yourself. Some people go from making $15 an hour, flipping burgers, doing whatever they're doing, to making $60,000 in a matter of 20 weeks. You would be surprised what you can do with yourself if you sat down and applied yourself to a program of any sort in tech, especially when it comes down to mainframe.
When you see a person, they have no idea what that. They think that it's a long road.
No.
Let's talk about when you see the light come on in somebody and they get it. Because that's important. Because you're a role model to people, because people don't know what, okay, I don't know, and they see you doing it.
Yeah.
And you're talking tech. Let's talk about when you see that light come on in people, that this starts to make sense for me.
Yeah. So I was very fortunate enough. Last year, I was able to teach a cohort with my mentor, Dr. Cameron Say, out of North Carolina. Excuse me. And I was able to teach, and all I had to teach was how to learn, which was really amazing. So, and some mainframe fundamentals like JCL, some how to navigate ISPF.
Excuse me, ma'am. What are those things?
So job control language, basically, and like how to write a job card, how to send directions to. That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. And that's for a bunch of smart people.
No. You stop that. That's not for a whole bunch of smart people. What it's for is it's a list of directions to give your program. And that's not for a bunch of smart people. That is for the program. And it's for us to give the program. And we are the people that are programming. That's what we are doing. And we are the smart ones.
Gotcha. Okay, so when you look up and you see a number of women, younger girls in there right now, because a lot of times this does cut down the barrier of
it does
of that.
And it clears the smoke. And it lets you be able to see.
Because people can't necessarily hold it against you.
They can't.
And I'm going to talk another part with this one. It opens the world up for you for job opportunities.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be right there.
You don't.
And that's something the world wasn't always like that.
No, you can work from anywhere now. A lot of times, and now, okay, so if you're new to tech, like I'm new, okay, but I've utilized what I have to get the things that I need in order to achieve my goals. But mind you, I'm no spring chicken. So I know how to navigate my landscape. But with that being said, for the newer ones that are coming in, you must have tools, and you must be able to utilize the tools that are given. There's so many free tools out here. There are free tools. There are companies that are outside right now that are saying, here you are. Would you like to learn something? We are going to give it to you for free. Please take it and learn it at your leisure. Literally.
And people
will come into my DM on a daily. My emails, I get hundreds of emails a day.
Is that why you use that Gmail account to filter out
I use
the foolishness?
I do.
Because there's going to be a lot of...
I get hundreds of emails. And then with my LinkedIn, I get a lot of DMs all the time. And people are like, well, where do I start? Where do I start? And I say, okay, so you want a mainframe job or you want a tech job. Let's start with Z Explorer. Z Explorer is free. It uses VS Code. You can do it. they go through Python and COBOL, and it allows for you a little assembler, a little this, little that. It's gamified. You can do everything that you need to do. You can stay at the table and let it go. And it also gives you badges. Guess what? If I'm an employer, let's just say, and I decided to take a look at everybody on LinkedIn that was looking for a job, and you actually had a badge issued by IBM, and you took the time out of your busy schedule to show that you learned something on your own and nobody paid you to do it, do you know how much that weighs?
It does. It does. And we just had Lori Jennings in there, so Jennings Pro Search.
Absolutely.
And she's talking about the number
Lovely
of
person.
people who are looking for a job. It wasn't, so for people not in the tech world, we thought, it was still, okay, we knew there were layoffs, but it wasn't that long ago when techies were just balling out of control.
For sure.
And so when I asked her before, she had said, we've seen this cycle before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for a person who's been in the business for a while. You're somebody new. You came in balling. You didn't know that on the other side of this, there might be some hard times.
Yeah.
So for a person who's good, what are some of the areas that you would say that are strong to go ahead and you really need to hone in on these skills?
You must, 100%, you have to lab every day. You have to have something in your computer, in your home lab. That does not mean to go out and get routers and switches and spend all your money. No, that does not mean that. You can get that stuff virtualized. There are many clusters that you can spin up if that's what you want to do. Also, they are free. First thing. Second thing, YouTube is your friend. You can sit up and get on YouTube and watch as many videos as you possibly can to your heart's content. IBM has a great page. Rocket Software has a great page. Interskill Learning has a great page. Who else? Tons of resources. BMC has a great page. I would just say, you have to go and find your place in tech. You have to find your space. There are even things that are tech adjacent. Like I said before, you do not have to be a 10x coder. You can go through, if your jam is organization, do you know how many code teams would love to have somebody that could just help them to think and organize their structure? Okay? Think about that. It's like it's a whole thing.
So it allows you to create your own lane.
If you can take the time to just be you, tech has a space for you. There is room for you on the mainframe.
There's room for. Okay, what was the birthplace for Tish Talks Tech?
Tish Talks Tech has been in the works for a while, but I did not really love it and show it care until I became an IBM champion, because I was thinking,
oh, you became a champion. Okay, so I don't,
what? What?
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Okay, so there is a value in being a champion.
It is.
It's street cred?
Pardon?
It is street cred?
It is more than street cred. It is probably one of the biggest honors that I have had. So the year before, in 2022, I got Tech Channel Rising Star, and I didn't even realize that I was the Rising Star. I was like, oh, I thought I was interviewing for it. I thought I was nominated, and I said, oh, okay, wow, Tech Channel? And because that's like a really big deal, okay? And the people that also got Tech Channel Rising Star was like people that won Call for Code. Like these are people that are like Lucas Jacks and Amit Sharma and people that like were making changes in the environment, like at how the earth spins. Okay. And I said, Lil, me? And so it was something.
So you were a rising star.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so now you look up. How do you feel when you're coming out being a rising star? You're feeling pretty good.
I was like,
You're
whoa.
like, whoa, okay, all right.
Whoa, that's amazing. And then, but I have to remember, like, what I was doing at the time is not easy. That is not easy. And I have to step back and I have to say, you know what a blessing, So I said, yeah, this is kind of cool. And then next thing I know, I got my nomination, and Dr. Cameron Say and Jeffrey Decker and Gary Gwaltney and Reg Harbeck and a bunch of other people were just like, hey, you know what? Sherry Shara and all these folks were just like, hey, we really are amazed that you are this passionate about mainframe and how it affects other people. I said, no, you have no idea. This is me, like all the time. When my mother got out of the military and she had to retrain, I can remember going to CTC in Killeen, little bitty Killeen, right there at Fort Hood.
Shout out to Hood.
Man, all roads lead to Hood.
All roads. It's
great place. Okay.
I don't know, a great place. It wasn't San Antonio.
Okay.
But there was some, Killeen, Texas, it was a big place. Life was, they soldiered there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing some soldiering there.
Yeah.
So your mom got retrained there.
Yeah. And I can remember she was taking business at that time, and she was learning COBOL, and I can remember going to the computer lab on CTC and spending hours at the computer lab. I was probably 10 years old. I had my strawberry shortcake blanket at the computer lab, sleep as she was sitting in this loud computer lab and hearing the Doppler machine with this green and white paper and and I can remember that. And then all of these years later, look at...
Here you are now.
Here I am. And I can remember how my mother used to sit up and say things to us. And mind you, she's now retired from the IRS. But I can remember now asking her questions about COBOL. And she's like, girl, you don't know what that means. Okay, well, let me just try to explain it to you. And I'd be like, oh, I don't even want to know about that. And now all these years later, just knowing, oh, this is what this means. Oh, I have to put my punctuation at the end. Otherwise, it's not going to compile. Oh, I have to do, and so, and I don't even do that. And so now.
But you understand.
But I understand it. So, at the end of the day, this is all I'm saying. People sit up and they think that they can't do things because they don't know what they can't do. And it's hard. Don't do that.
The computer, the cyber world technology is so big.
Yeah.
It can get to be overwhelming, and a person thinks that, I got to do it all at once. But there are people who do certain things, like you said. The mainframe ideas, like I have people in tech in here a lot.
Yeah.
I never heard anybody talk about the mainframe side of it. No.
Yeah.
People are talking, I think what I hear
it's like
a lot now.
It's super secret.
Yeah, like what I hear now is a lot of security.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear people talking networking. Mm-hmm. Those things. When somebody walks in, they look at the IT room and they look and see how it's wired up. They say because when you look at a business, their IT room tells you the health of a business a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
You're shaking your head like, yeah.
It will.
Yeah. If your wiring is raggedy, you might be having some issues.
Right.
You might have some issues.
Yeah.
So talk about right now. So what's next for Tish Talks Tech? That's a big thing. I mean, I see you. the engagement, you were getting heavy hitters on this show, but these are people who are not in the world that regular Joes like me know about.
Possibly. The people that come on my show are people that have more than likely have touched your life.
And we don't know it.
And you don't even know
We have
it.
no clue.
You have no clue.
No, like you're saying, do you bank? Yes. Do you know how that... I remember the first time I learned how email worked.
Yeah.
It was just like, all we know is you write it up, you hit the button, it shows up on the other side.
Yeah.
We don't have an idea of how it got there. We don't know any of those things. So the people who are coming on your show, they are doing things that are affect our world, make life easier.
Yeah.
You know, all the things that the comforts that we have, they're the people who are connecting those dots.
Yes. Literally.
Connecting the dots. And the only thing we're thinking is, hey, it's done.
Yeah.
That's all we know, because we don't know. But there's some kid out there, some younger person, somebody who's making a career change.
Yep.
You're saying, hey, you don't have to, it's not something that's going to take you 5 years or 10 years. You can do something to change the course of your life right now.
You can do something that will literally boost your net worth over the weekend.
Wow.
I'm not, excuse me, I'm not telling people that tech is easy. This is not easy. This is not easy. Let me be frank and very clear. This is not easy. But if you will apply yourself, it could literally change your life over a weekend. Just learning what hypertext means could change your life over a weekend. Just knowing that you
Okay,
could...
hold up, man.
Yeah.
Not that hypertext link thing.
Yeah, like just knowing what...
That was pretty cool. And I learned, now, you know, I learned what that thing was. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And because it did, you know what? Okay, so I know you probably are not going to be impressed with this.
No,
but,
I love it.
Okay, so
Keep
here's
going.
one. When I saw and learned what the snippet tool was,
There you go.
I'm like...
Which version of Windows, though?
Maybe this was maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
And the person, I'm like, really? When you find something so basic, it changes the course of how you do business.
It is.
So it's funny. So now, one of the great parts about having your own radio show, you're listening to On the Mic, Mike King, Tish Talks Tech is here with me. So I had a friend of mine, Vida Williams, is a data scientist. Coolest data scientist I know. But she was the only one I didn't know what the heck that was. So she's talking to me a bunch of technical stuff, and she looks at me and goes, Mike, are you still with me? I'm like, no. I'm back there. At the time, this is 2018, 2019, we're talking about tracking people and what that does in data science. And I'm like, people are scared of that because Big Brother's watching, you know, and all those things.
Oh, there's ways around that, but go ahead.
Fast forward through the pandemic. What are we asking now? Please track us because we want to know, and the science has been there. Mm-hmm. We don't know the parts of science, like you're saying. Even I had Dr. Wynn on from the Massey Cancer Center. I'm like, excuse me, how did you guys come up with this thing for COVID overnight, seemingly? Like? But we still can't find the cure to cancer and all those things. He said, Mike, from a tech side, remember bird flu and swine flu, those things? He goes, this is a variation of it. It's right there. So we just went back into the lab and here we go. We modified it a bit and we came out with it. Mm-hmm. He said we probably need to be better with the understanding, like I guess letting people know what we're working on. We don't know what you guys are doing in the lab to make things happen from the tech standpoint. We're just like, oh, well, this new thing, cards try themselves. Oh, well, or I was here a couple weeks ago. I'm much smarter. The lady came in and told me what Chat GPT was. I'm like, ma'am, explain it to us. We hear it's out there. We're here. It's scared. The computers are going to take over the world. Vida Williams said, no, we're always going to need a human. We're going to need humans to whether it's program them to be that side of the empathy part that the computer does not know how to do, doesn't know how to work with. I'm like, because me as a layperson, computers are going to take over the world. They're going to be walking down the street. They're just going to take over.
They're going to be walking down the street?
You've seen them? You've seen that computerized dog. You didn't know you were coming. This is not your kind of talk sex.
No, I love this, though.
This is not. This is a little bit more. Yours is educational and freewheeling.
No,
oh,
I love this.
Well, yeah, you're going to tell me you never seen that dog?
I've seen, but guess what? That dog is programmable.
Somebody had to do it.
Certainly did.
Somebody had to do it. And there's a young boy, young girl somewhere who's finding that interesting. All righty, I got you here now. One of the great parts, I can ask all the...
You can ask me anything.
All the questions.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about everybody who's always playing the video games? The parents are telling their kids, get out the video games. What can be learned from playing video games? Or do we really need to learn what comes from how to program that side of it?
Well, if you have somebody at your house that's playing that video game, get that person a Raspberry Pi and tell them to program a game.
The Raspberry Pi back in the day used to be this little...
Yep.
Okay. I remember I used to be at a place, because that was as a service, SaaS. Okay, explain to our listeners what Raspberry Pi is.
So it's a little computer, basically, and you can just Google it. You can get it on Amazon, or Radio Shack isn't in business anymore.
I know,
is it?
yeah.
Sorry.
That used to be the place.
They used to be.
Especially Christmas gifts. Yeah. They would have to walk in, the computerized dog.
Right.
Okay, but
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or no. See, now I'm telling my age, right? So, but yeah, you can just go get a Raspberry Pi, or you can get. There's other tools that are like it, and you can program it, and you can make it do what you want it to do. And so, if you have somebody at your house that loves to game, ask them to program their own stuff. And if they like to do that, there's other softwares that you can mimic that game that they like to play, and you can actually program skins for the game. Now it might cost you, but you can do those types of things.
I don't know what we're paying for, but I know we're paying for some Roblox skins. Y'all don't even know what that is, but yeah.
Yeah, so like if they have a weapon, or if the character has clothes, make them program it themselves.
You were a gamer?
No, but
you know your way around?
I don't know my way around, but I know I have friends that do that, and my daughter streams. Mm-hmm. So she does that, and that was our way of having her to...
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the mic, Tish Talks Tech is here. So I was at with Brian and Stratton, they have a lab, esports lab. And so with
Very
that
nice.
one, yeah, so we went down and we went to a store, a tech store. People in there buying games, selling games, doing all these things, all kind of technology. There's a younger woman in there. So I asked her, how often do guys come in here and want to check your street cred? She goes, they'll walk right by me and go one of the guys.
Yep.
And so I said to her, do people want to challenge your street cred? And I asked you this a little while ago. And she told me, yes, they do. And I asked her, what's the look like when they realize that they went to the wrong person? And she goes, they kind of look a little sheepish. They look like I shouldn't have. Are we still at a place where people will want to check your credentials to understand what you know? Is that still a thing in our world? I know. What am I going to answer? I'm trying to be like a real interviewer. That's what I think that one of the real interviewers would ask, knowing the answer. So,
unfortunately, sometimes some individuals will question, and sometimes people don't know who I am. And now it's gotten a little bit better because people recognize me. Like the individual today, I think I know you from somewhere. So
technology does work.
Technology does work. And I get recognized a lot now, so it's kind of when when, like at conferences and things, my very first conference, I had someone say, "Oh, is that the hairdresser?" Well, if I needed a haircut, I know who to go to. That almost tore me apart. But you know what? It made me very strong because, yeah, I did do hair. I did hair for a very long time. Now I have made a pivot. I've made a career change. And now technology is kind of my jam. And within my technology focus, I also am very passionate about other people jumping in the technology train. And that's just kind of where I am. And I'm talking about all people. I don't care what type of place you come from or who you are. I'm passionate about people working.
So, when you're in the tech world, I remember back in the day we were talking about scope creep.
Yep.
And really comes down to how much is tied to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are kind of like, well, you do this, will you do that a little bit more? Do you still see that in the tech world, or that people kind of realize I need to handle and have my thing and kind of own and stay in my lane?
It just depends on your project. And if your project manager is good, you will not have scope creep.
Okay.
And for me, like, because I do a lot of side hustling. So for me, it's all about my time versus, no, it's all about my time.
So yours is straight up time management. I see you over here with the book.
Yeah, I always carry, everybody, even on my show, I always carry my pen and paper because it's all about time management. Now, like today, it's different, right? But it's all about time, and I have to know what I have time for because my time is my money. So, yeah, it all boils down to that.
Now we're going down the road with time and money. How do you know which jobs, which opportunities to take and which ones to pass up?
It depends on the skill set, and it depends on if it's worth it.
Okay. Here's another one. See, these are rapid fire. This what happens, you're thinking, do men go at things different than women? I understand. I'm going to help you with this.
Okay. Help me out.
So,
I can't speak for gentlemen.
Okay, so here, gentlemen, being very nice. So Lori was just here, and we had a conversation in the past that to get this job, you need these 10 qualifications.
Okay.
A man, a woman will be like, a lot of women. I ain't trying to generalize because I don't want to get in trouble. Would think I really need to have most of those 8, 9, 10. That way, I really can go ahead and apply for this thing.
Oh, okay.
A man, a good strong 2, maybe 3. He's going to go for it because I think that I can work my way and work my magic when I get there.
Okay.
Is that the case a lot of times in the tech world too? Because I remember they're saying they're getting 600 applications, resumes. How do you even go through and like, okay, well, because the one, we said you need to have these qualifications, and you don't have them. So we're just going to go. When you get picked out as one of 600, you're pretty special.
That is very true. This is a very good question, but for me, it's really individualized. And because, so if I apply for a position, a lot of times I've gotten to the point now where positions come to me because of
who you are,
of who I am. Back in the day, though, when I first started, I was really in that mindset that, oh, I don't have the qualifications. The advice I would give to people, the moment that you level up to, that you understand that you have a certain certification, because a lot of the tech jobs require a certification, especially if you work for the government and or organizations that require you to understand a certain level of networking, computer networking, or security. So if you have to have like a CompTIA or a CCNA or something like that, once you have that type of certification, when you see all of these different qualifications that you have, if you understand that you have that cert and you have actually worked certain labs scenarios, that's when you start putting in applications. Because when you lab every day, remember we talked about you have to lab every day, you have to actually practice, you have to actually do certifications and try to get badges. What I did in my journey, I had an inner skill. I went through inner skill. It's an online type of level up. You take courses and they give you these badges, these digital badges, digital credentialing. And I went through and I did this. When I tell you, it was like a part of my life every day. And I would read, I would do the practical, and I would badge. And it would take months. And I would still work. Okay. And so I would be like, okay, the moment that I get off from work, I'm just going to do this. So with that being said, so like once a month I would get a badge. Right now to this day, I think I have 22 badges. So what you have to do when you're trying to get these jobs, you have to be able to show, especially if this is like your first or your second tech job, you have to be able to show that you have skin in the game. That is where you stand out. Like what Lori was saying earlier. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm good. I'm able to do the work. Everybody knows you're able to do the work. Everybody can learn. And this is what I'm trying to help people understand. Anybody can learn this if you are patient enough with yourself. But it's the belief. You have to believe in yourself enough to get the badge to show that, yes, I can learn this. And I've learned it all by myself. Nobody paid me to do this. I did this all by myself. And guess what? Now I'm showing you that I did it all by myself. I put it all out on LinkedIn. Y'all don't have to like me. You just have to know that I put enough skin in the game. I took the time and the patience and the determination to do it. Pay me my money. Somebody's going to give you that job.
Because you're standing out.
You're standing out.
You went and got something. You paid for it. Nobody paid you to go do it.
Nobody paid you to go do it.
Mm.
And you know who cared enough to do it? You did. Show did.
So now you're standing out from all the other people. Alrighty, how can people find out information about Tish Talks Tech out there?
You can go on YouTube, Tish Talks Tech. It's in neon. You can see my face.
There you go.
And I'm on LinkedIn, Laticia Carrow, Laticia.
With a whole bunch of credentials and letters behind your name.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Okay, really quickly.
Yeah.
Explain to me what all that means.
What
all those initials and all that stuff.
So right now, I'll work backwards. So right now I'm working on a cloud architect.
Azure. Azure. How do you say it? How do people say it?
Azure?
Azure.
So
that's what it is.
So right now I'm working on a cloud architect through IBM.
What is Azure? That's somebody else?
That's Microsoft.
That's Microsoft.
That's the next one.
That's a cloud certification. Yeah. Okay.
So basically what I'm trying to do is take over the world. And I want all three. So I want IBM because, I mean, why not, right?
It is IBM.
IBM is IBM.
IBM is IBM,
yeah. Yeah, and so I'm working on IBM right now. My next one will be Microsoft, and then after that it will be AWS, and then.
Okay. So when I watch Amazon, that's their tech world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
sharp, right?
yeah. So I'm just trying to I'm trying to get it all, and then after that, but the cloud architect is creme de la creme. You can't get no better, and so I want it all. But yeah, so I have that, and then but what I hold right now is the CompTIA Network Plus certification. And then, of course, I have another IBM cloud certification and a whole bunch of interskill certifications. I'm an IBM champion. And
you are the champ.
I am the champ.
I am the champ. The champ is here.
This was my first year 2023, my inaugural.
They didn't give you the belt?
No, but I will be at the Share conference. It is the mega conference for mainframers. That is in August, and I will be speaking for the diversity and inclusion platform, and I cannot wait for that. That is going to be huge, and I will be in Las Vegas at the Tech Exchange, which is IBM's major. That is like the granddaddy of them all. Yeah,
That's it.
I'll be there, and I can't believe it. So what I'm telling everybody, the takeaway from this is that you can do it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it with patience and determination. It is for you. There is room for you on the mainframe. Do not say that you cannot do this. Do not say you are too old. Do not say that you can't pivot. Do not say that, I can't read that. It's too much for me. Don't say that. It's for you.
There you go. Words from the champ. On the mic, Mike, one last time, how can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter sometimes. And my YouTube, of course, is Tish Talks Tech. And y'all remember to get these skills.
There you go, get the skills. All righty, so on the mic, Mike, what we do is we promote, highlight nonprofits, businesses out there. What we're trying to do is change the world.
Hospital Foundation, the Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation, Jacob's Chance, Trinity
Over
Hospital,
40,000 minutes of broadcast time donated.
Beyond Boundaries, the Virginia Down Syndrome Association,
Nonprofits telling their story, maximizing their impact.
Richmond Region Tourism, the Chesterfield Chamber of
Creating
Commerce,
partnerships that make a difference.
RICO Office of Economic Development,
Thanks for
Mike
having
King
me.
Biz, the social enterprise brand.
Girls for Change.
On a mission.
All right, so we're getting out of here with a little bit of energy. Tish Talks Tech, that's how she rolls because, this is what she does.
Mike King says,
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make 'em stay there.
On the mic, Mike, we're the best because we talk to the best. Make sure you follow this lady out there. Hey, I learned a lot today. This is something right here, like you said, follow your dreams, chase your passion. There's opportunities. Don't look, don't let the mountain in the way stop you.
No.
Nope. And what do you call it again? The horizons.
It's view your horizon.
Your horizons. That's right. Be on the lookout. All right, on the mic, Mike. TC is here. We got to run. Take it. She got stuff to do. Not hang out with me all day. I mean, she's important. She's a big deal. See you later.